Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon and get into Season 3 and Season 4 because it seems like we have the confirmation that a Season 4 is likely going to happen. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. At this point, it is pretty obvious because the actors were talking about that a lot last year, but we do sort of have what seems to be some more confirmation of that. But yeah, let's get into this here. So before going any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I also will be doing a Q&A video next. That's going to be out tomorrow, I believe. And so if you do want to take part in that Q&A, definitely go and join the Discord. The server name is Appetite for the Dead. The link for that will be in the description of this video. I'll record that later on tonight or like maybe tomorrow or something like that. And yeah, just make sure if you have some questions, just go and post them in there and I'll get to all the questions. And so in terms of Season 3 and Season 4, I mean, I guess let's get into some of the Season 3 stuff here. So The Walking Dead did just actually post something here that says, hashtag Daryl Dixon Season 3 production has officially wrapped. From France to Spain, the journey continues and we're getting closer. So that's really exciting. I know I talked about that in a different video like a week or two ago or something, saying that like Season 3 officially wrapped, or maybe that was a couple of days ago, but I think it was originally like Season 3 like officially wrapped, but apparently afterwards, like the last couple of days or whatever, they've been going back to like previous episodes and recording like random stuff. So I know that I've seen some people talking about, you know, they went back to film something for episode 1 and all of that. So there was a lot of just like random stuff I guess they did in the last couple of days, but overall I guess now they're officially like for sure done. And the image that we have here of I guess the set here for Season 3 is really interesting because it literally just says The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3. There's just a bunch of obviously camera stuff there, and it does say the director's name here, which is really interesting. In terms of the date, I can't really see what the date is here, but it doesn't really matter. Obviously, they're filming in a new location for Season 3, and it's really interesting because this show is going to be coming out later on this year, and that was something that I was a little bit concerned about. I was like, you know, in terms of like how long it takes for them to put out these shows, I was like really concerned that because the show was still filming, that maybe it wouldn't come out later on this year, because it felt like they were going to be filming still for another like couple of months or at least another month or two. And I was like, I don't know about that. But, you know, officially being done filming right now, like that makes a lot of sense. Like if this show comes out in September, usually it's like late September, that is 7.5 months away, right? And they've already been editing like episode 1 and 2. And I'm sure more episodes than that for the last however many months, right? They started filming that in August, I believe. And so it's been a while, so it makes sense that, yeah, it's likely going to come out in September. I could even see them pushing it off until like October, which I'm totally okay with because Dead City's already been pushed off quite a bit. So, you know, Dead City's going to be out when? Probably May, like very early May or maybe late April. And then that's going to run until like the end of June. And then if Daryl Dixon comes out, say in October, say it's early October, I mean, that's really only going to be a 3-month break. And we also have Comic-Con in between that. So to me, that's like a standard Walking Dead season throughout, you know, from April or May all the way to like October, November, or I guess end of November when Daryl Dixon Season 3 would likely be over. So this year's going to be a lot of fun for The Walking Dead. I think that right now it is frustrating, yes, that there's not a lot of information. And like, I see that all the time. People are saying like, I want to get excited about this, but like, there's just nothing out there. Like, what is happening? And I definitely don't understand it either. You know, I do think in general, shows aren't promoting, you know, their show, I guess, as much anymore. Like they will when it's like a month or two away, but I'm just looking at The Last of Us because that show's supposed to be out in April, and yes, they are starting to promote it a little bit more now, but like I don't even think they really gave a release date yet for the show, did they? I know it's in April, so maybe they did give a release date. I don't know. I think Dead City does have to give us a release date at some point. I think that we are getting very close to that. I think this month we should get that, like a little teaser and a release date. It's probably going to be like early May. Honestly, it's one of those things where I'm just like wondering the thought process of a lot of this stuff. Like, are they trying to do it where, you know, it makes it more relevant? So if they announce the release date, say a month or two ago, is there a concern that the show might just get very old kind of thing and people won't care too much anymore, right? Like I wonder if they're saving the teasers and the release date and all that for something just like closer because people will get more excited because the show's like very, very close, right? So I could almost see it being a thing where like at the end of February here or like early March, like the second they go into March, you know, then they announce the release date as being in May. Like at that point, it's like, okay, it's only 2 months away. Whereas telling us right now what the release date is, if it's May, or telling us in January, like that seems so far away. So just kind of saying the spring, and then once it's March and like, you know, it's literally going to be spring right away, giving us the release date of, you know, May, whatever, like that would be exciting for a lot of people, right? Because it's like right there, right? Like that's kind of how I view it, to be honest. What's really cool though is once Dead City is done, like I imagine that season 2 will be officially done around like what, the end of June? Like maybe it goes into July a little bit, but like somewhere around there. I think that means that we'll probably get a trailer or a teaser trailer anyways for Daryl Dixon, giving us a general release date of like fall 2025, right? And then at Comic-Con we'll get the official trailer, and then that will have the release date and everything, and then we'll have to wait until like September or October for the next show, right? And so I think that's pretty exciting. Like we're probably gonna get some new footage and a general release date and everything as soon as Dead City is over. And that's also something I wanted to talk about as well. I did see from a few accounts on Twitter, or I guess X, that it seems like a season 4 is likely going to be coming out for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. I mean, obviously it has to be like officially confirmed, but it looks like, just based off of, I guess the impression that a lot of people are getting from like the cast and the crew in terms of working on the set of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 and like where the story ends, I'm guessing, and everything, that they are likely going to be back for a season 4. Like I see here from @TWU Filming on Twitter, or I guess X, that it says early signs from cast and crew indicate The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will return to film a 4th season in Spain. And I also saw from @TWU Verse on Twitter that season 4 seems to be likely happening here. So I guess that's the impression that they're all getting. Obviously, like there has to be actual confirmation there in terms of AMC saying like, yes, there's going to be a season 4, because like what if they just like cancel the show? And I know that's a concern I see quite a bit, that AMC could cancel these shows because it's just dropping in ratings. Like TV ratings are dropping constantly, and like even if a season 2 drops in ratings compared to a season 1, that happens a lot with TV shows. And when you look at the cable ratings for these shows, they're still so much higher than any of the other shows that, AMC has like on AMC. So I just kind of view it like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I remember that The Penguin was airing at the same time as The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, and The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon had higher cable ratings. Like obviously I imagine on HBO Max or whatever it's called now, like depending on how many subscribers it has, I'm assuming it's more. Like I could see the ratings being higher there than AMC Plus, but like my point is the show is still very successful. It's going to take a long time for them to be like, all right, we're going to cancel this kind of thing, right? Like they have other shows that are airing and their ratings just aren't doing the same as The Walking Dead. So like to me, that's just really not a concern at all. To me, I think it makes sense that, we're probably going to get a couple more seasons of these shows, of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon and Dead City. There could be another spinoff or something like that. I think the Rick Grimes reunion with everybody will happen. They'll get Rick and Michonne to come back and do something else. I think that's sort of, what's likely going to happen until like 2030 or something. Once they're done that part of the story there, I do wonder what's going to happen after that. That's where I kind of think like a next generation thing could happen. Or maybe, if AMC doesn't want to do that, maybe they just sort of sell The Walking Dead, and then HBO, does a reboot of The Walking Dead, or like Netflix or something, right? I could see that happening. Like for sure, something like that will happen, because to me, just having The Walking Dead as a show out there and all of that, like it just makes sense to do that. So yeah, I'm really excited about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3. I can't wait to see, more footage and all that. I don't think we're going to get a lot for a while. Like I was kind of surprised that AMC actually, or I guess The Walking Dead on Twitter, X, but they posted that season 3's production has officially, wrapped, and gave us a new look at it. And that's really exciting. And honestly, I'm so happy that they went back to season 3 as like the official title for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, because like season 2, like I'm not going to get into the whole thing about it again, but like there was just so many complaints about it and made it so confusing talking about a season 2 that it was just like, I don't know. Honestly, I do think that season 2 of that show was just a mess. Like, really, when you look at all the spinoffs so far, honestly, like the Ones Who Lives finale, I know is very controversial, but like that, like the show overall, I think was fine. When you look at Dead City, that first season was fine. Daryl Dixon, that first season was fine. Season 2 of Daryl Dixon was really the first season where it was like, I don't know, it was just a mess from like beginning to end. There were some moments that were really cool, and like some of the episodes are, I do like them, but like, I don't know, the Book of Carol, I think just adding that title really hurt the show quite a bit. So I'm really interested in seeing, what season 3 does to the show. It seems like everyone's really excited about it. So yeah, I really can't wait. But I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. What do you want to see happen in The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3? I think my main thing for that season is I want to see if there's going to be a really exciting new story in Spain, because they're sort of starting something new here, and that's totally fine. Like I really like whenever they do that, because The Walking Dead did that all the time. Like whenever there was a really exciting arc, it would end after a season or two, right? Like if you think of, going back to the beginning of the show all the way to the end, like, villains would come and go every season or two, right? Like that's sort of what the arc really was overall, right? And so, we're going into a new story here, a new villain arc, and I wonder if this villain's going to be better than, Pouvoir and Madame Genet. I think that it most likely, I think it can be for sure. It depends on what they do, but I think that you definitely can, because I think season 1 was exciting in terms of where they went with that story, but season 2, I mean, it was just sort of a mess. I think they definitely didn't handle it, the way that I think a lot of us wanted. Even though there were certain moments that were really cool, I think that the story just wasn't what we all expected. So I think that, again, like villains, it changes all the time. Like you just look at the Savior arc, right? Like obviously Negan is a really amazing character, but like that arc overall just wasn't the best. But then we got the Whisperer arc, right? Which is really amazing. Although it kind of ended in a way that I think a lot of people didn't really like, but it was still, I think, overall way better than the Savior arc. So you're always going to have these ups and downs, and so I really look forward to seeing what that next story is going to be, and I guess just where the story is going to go, because that one teaser that we got, honestly, was really exciting. Like, it was so refreshing to see where the story was going, and that really shows, how much I enjoyed season 2. And I think a lot of people too, I think a lot of people didn't really enjoy season 2 that much, because I saw the reaction to the teaser for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3, and it was really, really positive. So, that's a good sign going into, that season. I think going into season 2, there wasn't too much excitement. Like, I was excited, but I really didn't like the whole Book of Carol thing. And I know that a lot of the, promotion for the show in terms of getting Daryl and Carol to reunite, it just seemed like something that, like, honestly, I don't even know if I really cared about the reunion that much, because the characters weren't really apart for that long. And so, doing that whole story, I just feel like it wasn't the most exciting overall. I don't know. So I kind of get the reaction overall to season 2, and I'm just excited to see season 3. I really can't wait. Like, the characters are just together now. They reunited, and let's see where the story goes, right? So I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one.